Hey y'all, it's Monday, December 21st, and I'm on my way home for the holidays to Wilmington, but I decided to take a little detour and stop at Raven Rock State Park, which is south of Raleigh, near Lillington, North Carolina. This is pretty large state park for the eastern part of North Carolina, but I never been here before. It is situated on the banks of the Cape Fear River, which is near and dear to me since it flows through Wilmington on its way to the ocean, and it's one of the largest rivers in North Carolina. And this is near the fault line of the Piedmont, where it drops off to the coastal plains. So the topography is a little rockier than you would think for this part of the state. So far it's been a decent downhill from the visitor center to this waterway right here. I'm doing there's two main things to see in Raven Rock State Park. One is the cliffs called Raven Rock, which has nice views of the Cape Fear River, and the second is Lanier Falls, which is what I'm heading to because the Raven Rock parking lot was really crowded. So I'm doing the 5-mile Campbell Creek loop with a very short out and back to Lanier Falls. It's not really a waterfall. I think it's just a river-wide rapid, which would be pretty impressive for this area, even if it's a few feet high, because it's a big river. So I'm looking forward to seeing what it looks like. But right now, I'm approaching this really nice bridge. I think it's over Campbell Creek. We'll go check it out. It's one of the nicest wooden bridges I've been on in a state park. Wow. Oh, there's an actual creek. Cool. It's actually a pretty nice creek. The water's pretty clear down there. Very pleasant. And just downstream it flows into the Cape Fear River. I'll be there shortly. Nice little beach here on Campbell Creek. This is a lot nicer than I thought it'd be. Very pleasant, and there's no crowds. What's actually the most surprising thing at the moment is how clear this water is. Since we're on the eastern edge of the Piedmont, usually everything's all brown and dirty, but this water is very nice and clear. I was wondering why the trail suddenly left Campbell Creek and climbed up over a ridge, and then I heard rushing water, and it sounded like decent sized rapids or even a very small waterfall. And now the trail's just behind me, touching the banks of Campbell Creek, and we're about 20 feet above it, and I could see straight ahead there's this nice looking rock bluff. I really wonder, I don't have much time to bushwhack down from the ridge and check out the creek upstream, but there might be something cool up there to explore another day. It's amazing how much the creek has changed in a quarter mile or so since my last video, probably 5 minutes ago. The water is barely moving here. It's dark, the banks are muddy, it smells even a little. I can tell it's getting close to the river just because how slow it's moving and how wet everything is. But otherwise, it's been a very one of the most surprising hikes I've been on in the Piedmont. It's such an intimate trail. There's so many cool spots along Campbell Creek, and on each side you're surrounded by 50, 60-foot bluffs. But it's a really easy trail, and at only 5.5 miles total from the visitor center, it's an excellent hike for all ages, all abilities. I am not even halfway done yet, but I can't imagine it's going to be really any difficulty getting back. Hopefully I'll get to the river soon and go check out Lanier Falls. Finally reached Cape Fear River, and it looks very wide and brown right here. Looks just as big as it does 150 miles downstream in Wilmington. I can hear downstream rapids in the distance. Maybe that's where the cliffs are around Raven Rock. I've reached Lanier Falls, and it's not a waterfall, but it is very impressive. The whole river drops a couple feet. You can see in the distance the drop. It's looks like 2 or 3 feet tall. Unfortunately, the water is pretty high right now, and I would love this spot right here in the river looks like a really great place to relax and have a picnic, get a much better view of really the whole scene, but would be impossible for me to get there without getting really, really wet. And I imagine if it was a drought that this might be almost bare rock. Right now that's not safe for me, but it's really cool. That was one last shot of Lanier Falls from above. It's an extremely powerful rapid considering how big the river is, and it's not a waterfall, but it's pretty cool. Unfortunately, if it's not a drought, I don't think there's really any way you can safely access that really cool rock island in the middle of the river there, unless you had a boat, or unless you wanted to have a good swim. It's just past 4 o'clock. It's a little over 2 miles back to the visitor center on the upper portion of the Campbell Creek Trail, and I don't really think there's going to be anything to see on there because it doesn't follow the creek. So it should be a quick hike out. I hope you enjoyed this video of Lanier Falls and the Campbell Creek Loop at Raven Rock State Park. Definitely surprised me. I'm gonna come back soon. Maybe when I return from Wilmington, I might stop by and go to the other side of the park and do the Raven Rock and Little Creek Loop. Be sure to check out all my videos and all my hike posts at Zach's Mild Adventures and the website I contribute to, Hiking Upward. Thanks.